Looking to learn the game? Well, listen up! We're going to go over how to play. The base game can be played with 2 players using 3, 2, or 1 champion depending on the length of the match and the style of battle you're looking to have. The rules are the same no matter which play style you choose. The only difference will be the number of cards that you are allowed to have in your deck and inventory. To start, you'll need a max of 3 different champions placed in your champion zone. Next, you'll need a main deck made up of a combination of 40 to 60 cards for 3v3, 30 for 2v2, or 20 for 1v1. Your deck will consist of a mix of skill, spell, will, strategy, and ally cards. In your main deck, you can only have 4 copies of the same card, any number of will cards, and only 3 ally cards. These cards are placed face down in your main deck zone until drawn each turn. Next is the inventory deck, made up of a combination of union, item, weapon, and stone cards. You can have a max of 15 cards for 3v3, 10 for 2v2, and 5 for 1v1 in your inventory. There are no card limits for cards in your inventory deck, except you can only have 1 stone card of the same name. The game is broken into rounds. A round is concluded after every champion has acted out their phases. You'll start the round with your lead champion, the champion farthest to your left. At the very start of the match, you'll place your champions in the champion zone and move 1 will card to the will zone from your main deck for each champion that you control. Next, shuffle your deck and place your main deck and inventory deck in their respective zones. This action is not a repeatable phase. The first phase is the prep phase. First, move any will from the used will zone to the will zone so that you may use it this turn. Second, if it's your lead champion's turn, move every card in the cooldown zones to the right by 1. Cards in cooldown zone 1 are placed in your library. Third, charge any card you want to remain on the field by moving 1 will from your will zone to the card you wish to charge. Then wipe your activity zone. Any cards in the activity zone that have not been charged this turn are moved to their cooldown zone. Cards with a previous charge that did not receive a new charge are wiped, and the will used to charge them are sent to the used will zone. Use the card's CC to determine the cooldown position. If it is 1 TU, it is moved to the used card zone. Next is the draw phase. Draw until your hand size equals 5. If you have 5 or more cards, then draw 1 card. Afterward, you'll enter the planning phase. You can activate strategy cards and will cards, as well as store cards face down in this phase. Additionally, you can use 1 card from your inventory deck. Activating a card from your inventory deck will prevent you from entering your action phase. Only the acting champion can access the inventory. For example, you cannot equip a weapon to a champion that isn't acting if it is not their turn. Also, note, when a weapon is equipped, the stats and skill markers are added to the equipped champion. Next, your action phase. You can activate any skill and spell cards from your hand and or your library as long as they are of the same rank or name. Activate a card by placing it face up and sending the number of will equal to the card's WC from the will zone to the used will zone. Remember, your champion can only activate skill and spell cards if the card is equal to or less than the marker indicated on the champion. Afterward, activate the card's effect. Your opponent then has the chance to activate a defense card, spell, or skill in response. If the activated card is a card that would deal damage, apply the damage in 2 ways. If attacking with ATK, add the ATK from the effect to the attacking champion's base and subtract the DEF of the target champion. Next, subtract the remainder from the defending champion's HP. If attacking with SDG, apply the same calculations against the defending champion's INT. If the defending champion uses a defensive skill or spell and still takes damage, the defense skill or spell is considered broken and sent to the used card zone. During the action phase, you can also place cards from your hand face down. These cards do not have their effect activated, thus no will is moved. Once the action phase concludes, enter the conclusion phase. Move any cards that do not stay on the field due to their effects to their corresponding cooldown zones, and move will from the activity zone to the will zone. After that, conclude your turn, and then your opponent follows these same steps. After your opponent finishes a turn, you will take turns using the next champion farthest to the left that has not acted this round until each champion has acted. After each champion has acted, end the round. When a champion's HP reaches 0, they are down and can no longer act. A downed champion's turn is skipped. If you only have one remaining champion, you'll enter Last Stand. While in Last Stand, the turn structure is broken. Your Last Stand champion will now act each time an opposing champion acts. The game is over when a player's champion's HPs have all reached 0 or a match has been forfeited. There are additional things to know, such as status effects. Take a look at the rulebook or the YouTube tutorials to learn more about the advanced tactics. That's it for this tutorial. I'll catch you at the next one.